What's up YouTube, Day Heavens of wargames, bringing you a link-ready domain Monarch deck profile. Now, the best thing about Monarchs now is because the game is supposedly supposed to slow down when links come out, Monarchs can kind of now match the pace and then have the ability to lock your opponent out of extra deck special summoning altogether with the domain lock, and then obviously the many of other effects that the Monarchs themselves as individuals have on the game. So without further ado, I'm going to crack straight into the deck profile, and then we'll probably go through a couple of bits and bobs. The reason these are so good in links is because they don't rely on the extra deck. They focus on locking you out and then using their main deck to kind of play with it. Obviously the issue is they have become more inconsistent with since the ban list when they got hit a while ago. Anyway, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So we start off with one Eva, the Heavenly Monarch, purely because it was hit 2-1 in the ban list. It was the most broken Monarch of the Monarchs, and there is a reason why it was hit on the ban list. It was very, very strong, very, very disruptive, and it was probably the start, or one of the starts of disruption during your opponent's turn, especially when you could like Stormforth them when you had 3 Stormforths. We play triple Karaz. Now this is obviously to help unbrick your cards, unbrick your hands, and kind of extend plays, especially with the link formats. Because you don't require links, it doesn't mean you don't play Gofu. Gofu is, I think, a staple near enough in 99% of all decks during the link format, whether you're playing for links or whether you're not. Gofu can be massively important, especially if it serves multiple purposes in the deck. Now, obviously, the purpose of Gofu is it can provide tribute fodder. It can also provide pop fodder for Karaz so you can get more draws. It also provides an allure target for the deck as well. And then we play triple Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. Again, very, very strong. The ability to go first turn with this guy and rip a card out of your opponent's hand is always very, very important, because starting with 5, that one card you pull out could have been there out to your entire board. And then we wrap it up with the one Caius, the Mega Monarch. Now, the reason I've gone with Caius is for the choice is that you target a card on the field, you banish it, and then you burn 1,000 damage to your opponent. If it's a dark monster, you banish the rest of the cards from your opponent's deck, graveyard, extra deck, and stuff like that. So it's kind of the threat out to all dark decks, plus the fact that it's a dark, it's also an allure target. And then the fact is, if you tribute someone with a dark monster, which if you use, if you're tributing off with YUGIOH, he's going to get the effect to target 2 cards instead, which is always great, because then you're burning your opponent for 2k, and then banishing their other stuff. But obviously he is a second turn card. And then we finish it off with the one Thessalos, the Mega Monarch, purely because I actually really, really like Thessalos. Again, to be able to rip a card from your opponent's side, it would be the most insane opening ever, but to get both these guys on the board and rip them out of your opponent's hand, 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, and then burn them on top of that is just insane. And, you know, it's always with Glacier in Mermals and Atlanteans, when they rip cards from your hand, especially 2 cards, you're always on an uphill struggle trying to counteract what's just happened and trying to catch back up with it. So if they rip the right ones out of your hand, you are in a bit of an uphill battle, and you will struggle a little bit as it is. But regardless, it's still very, very important to play, to be able to do. Then we run triple Blackwing Gofu. Again, like I said, this is very, very important. So Gofu is still very, very important, like I said, staple in links in my opinion, until it gets hit in August. Triple Idea, the Heavenly Squire, again, massively important in the deck. This just kind of helps get you 2 monsters on board for a normal tribute if you don't open up with the main, and then it kind of unlocks your hands. Double Idios, 3 is too much, purely because you don't actually want to be seeing him too much in hand. Ideally, you want to be using him in this Grave effect, and obviously Idea's special summoning him off with Idea. And then we finish it off with the one Mithra, the Thunder Vassal. Again, it's very, very important, but the idea is giving your opponent a token, whether you pop it with Kraz or whatever, especially in link format, could actually help them unlock their own plays, especially for them being able to use that token. They can go straight into a link spider. So you want to try and minimise the providing your opponent with these opportunities as best as you possibly can, but it does happen that you she might help unlock your deck in total. Then we finish it off with the one Vanity's Fiend. Now the reason we've got the one Vanity's Fiend, you can bump this up if you wish. The reason I've dropped it down is to fit in Caius and Thessalos, because I want to keep the balance right. I don't want to brick too much, so I want to keep the balance as best as I can between the Squires and then obviously the rest of the Monarchs, including Vanities. Now Vanities can be massively important because again you can get him out first turn quite easily, and then the ability to kind of lock your opponent down is very, very important. He's also on a lore target, but because you're only playing him at 1, you don't really want to be banishing him that much off of the allure. But he is still very, very important and very, very potent in this deck as a whole. So that's it for the monster lineup. Obviously, like I said, you want to get the right balance of higher level cards and lower level cards, because if you open up with one or the other, it's not really helping you. You need to open up with a good mix of the pair. And then we wrap it up with triple domain of the Monarchs on the spells. Again, really, really important card. The fact that it gives your monsters an 800 attack boost means it can beat over Masterpiece. The fact that you can lower your tribute cost as well is massively important, especially if you use 2. It's a free normal summon of a big Monarch. And then on top of that, you're locking your opponent out of your extra deck. Double Allure of Darkness. Now, you can play triple. Obviously, the fact we've only got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 targets, and ideally you only want to be banishing some of them targets if you open them up late game or when they're not useless. When they're not useful. You kind of own 2 is just about enough for this kind of build anyway. Triple Tenacity of the Monarchs, again, very, very important. Searching the cards out. Searches you out anything, so you can search out your Pantheism for your double draw. You can search out your domain if you want to get that, and then it can also search you out March and Return and all of that stuff as well. Play double Return. Obviously, you play 3 if you're going to be using Pantheism's graveyard effect to get it added to your hand. 2 is just enough in this build because you want to get the right balance, and the only reason I'm playing 2 is so that the third one can be March of the Monarchs. Now, the reason I'm playing March of the Monarchs is purely because true summon monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So this kind of stops them being popped by Masterpiece, and it also stops them being popped by Trident. It doesn't mean that they can't then target this, but obviously by them targeting this, they've had to waste a resource to get rid of this and clear your card out. Then we go with the 1 Monarch Stormforth, which is pretty much an out to everything. Your 1 Pantheism of the Monarchs, again, massively important. There is a reason it was hit 2-1. Frost Blast of the Monarchs is actually really, really cool. You're popping a back row just by having a card on the field. And then you're banishing this card, adding a Monarch spell or trap card from your graveyard, then target 1 set card on the field. So not only do you get to add back like your Pantheism for more draws or a Stormforth, you're then popping more cards as well. So you can easily bump this up, and I might actually consider bumping it up to 2. You just don't want to brick, but to kind of minimise the brickage of it, that's why we play Foolish Burial of Goods. Because then you can send 1, banish it, because it can all be done in the same turn. It doesn't say it can't be done on the same turn. So you banish it, you add 1 spell back, activate your Pantheism. Oh, sorry, let's say you draw into Foolish Burial Goods. You can then activate a Frost Blast from hand if you want, pop another card. So you've popped 2 out of, you've popped 2 cards already. Then banish that Frost Blast, pop another card, add Pantheism back, and activate Pantheism again. 1 Foolish Burial of Goods to send your Idea and Eidos, so many E's. Yeah, Idea and Eidos is so you can get their effects off. 1 Upstart to turn you down to a 39 card deck because consistency is an issue with this deck in general. 1 for 1 because it's insanely strong with your Ideas and then helping you push plays and getting you multiple normal summons. The 1 Rhoda again to search out Idea because she is that important. And then you wrap the traps up with double Prime Monarch. This was a pain in the arse, big booty, constantly there. You know, and it can just be cycled around, especially when you, if your deck has useless spells in the grave. So, like, if your Domain's in there or your Tenacity's in there and you don't really need them, you can banish them off of Prime, and then you've got a Defender protecting you for the rest of the game, or for the rest of that turn anyway. So, yeah, that is it for the Monarch deck profile. That is link ready, like I said. Pick them up cheap and easy while you can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.